Hey, sports fans, it's world champion handicapper Mike North. Punch this number in your phone right now. If you're driving, pull over. 1-800-808-3419. 1-800-808-3419 for a free pick and info for the premier handicapping site in the country, VegasScoresAndOdds.com. It's the only site you'll ever need with expert handicappers like John Anthony, Denny Macklin, Tony Sacco, Ray Monahan, yours truly, and many more. Check out the homepage of VegasScoresAndOdds.com for a tote board with your buddy. Follow Vegas Scores and Odds on Twitter and dial up 1-800-808-3419. It's 1-800-808-3419, 1-800-808-3419, or go to VegasScoresAndOdds.com.
What follows is for news and entertainment purposes only. Any use of the forthcoming information in violation of any federal, state, or local law is prohibited. Mike North, you are on fire.
You know anybody else that good?
No.
No, they'll tell you they are. They may think they are, but we're documented every single week. The eye is on us. And I ain't talking about the eye of CBS, the public eye. The first feeling I got when I won a bet was elation. The worst feeling was when I lost a bet and I wanted to jump off a balcony.
Give me a quick betting tip.
Yeah, do win and don't lose, but usually it doesn't always work out that way. How many times you heard this? I'm going to Vegas. I go, how'd you do? Well, if I lost $4,000, but you go there to have fun. No, you go there to win. And that's what's wrong with people. They have the negative mentality in anything they do, including sports, before they even lay the bet down. So you got to be positive. Vegas Scores and Odds is the landing place that gave me an opportunity to handicap. They let me show what I could do, and there's packages, there's free picks. What does Vegas Scores and Odds do when you perform? They reward you, and they take care of you, and that's why we're ready to do this show.
The Vegas Scores and Odds Advantage with Mike North starts right now. That's right. Vegas Scores and Odds Advantage with Mike North starts right now. I am Aldo Gandia, Mike's wingman. It is Wednesday. That means Mike has 3 free picks for you, courtesy of VegasScoresAndOdds.com. We're going to talk about the latest from Hallis Hall. Matt Nagy and Mitch Trubisky both met the media. We'll find out where he is at with that hip pointer injury. Mike and I are going to discuss 2 NFC North games, the San Francisco 49ers and Green Bay Packers. That's going to be a good one. And 2 lowly teams, the Lions and Redskins. That's going to be a fascinating matchup because both teams are just so putrid. We're going to hear Mason Rudolph's apology to the NFL and the Pittsburgh Steelers regarding that incident that happened last Thursday night. We'll get Mike's reaction to that. And the NFL released their list of finalists for the top coaches of their first 100 years. I'm going to share some names with Mike and get his reaction to the nominees. We've got all that and more. Let's bring him in now. Mike North, how are you, my friend?
I'm great, Aldo. It's great to talk to you as always. My buddy, my pal. We went 3-0 last week, and yeah, it is our picks. When it's on this show, it's our picks. Had a hot week at Vegas Scores and Odds. Been cooking on the advantage here every Monday at 1 o'clock, every Wednesday at 3 o'clock. We were the first to bring gambling out in the horizon.
Yeah.
Once it started, we were the first. And then we had, of course, 670's got a show with Joe Ostrowski. And then I got a show with Carmen DeFalco and AM 1000. But even before that, it started back with 1989 at the NFL Handicap Show with my buddy Park Ridge Kenny and a guy named Danny Penny back in the day, and then Phil Dunn and some other people. And it was on 1240, and that's the tapes that I put together to end up getting my job at the Score. So, I ran into Jim Pastor had a surprise. They had a surprise party for him on his retirement. And I ran into Craig Karmazon from Good Karma Brands and stuff like that. And I said, hey, have you heard the show? He goes, yeah. He says, you took New Orleans last week. I lost. I go, whoa. But then he told me, Craig told me, he says, and he's running the show now. He said basically he's been making picks too and he sucks. He's a good-natured guy, a lot of fun. But it was good. I want to wish Jim Pastor, Jim Pastor, basically I said at the thing, I go, Well, you brought me out of mothballs. You pushed ESPN. You hired me, and now you're gone. But that's beside the point. Adam Delavit was there, and Cap, and a lot of the on-air guys were there, and it was just a good time. So it's been a fun time. I don't know how long they're going to do a gambling show with the station. I have no idea. I don't know if it's going to be for the next 5 years. I don't know if it's going to be for the next 5 weeks. But I do know this. I love gambling. And it's more fun when we're winning. And we had a great week, and especially here where I was down at 16-14. Now it's 19-14.
Yeah, you've had some fabulous hot streaks. In the very beginning when we started the show, you were 18-1-1. I mean, that's
what got me everything.
Nationwide attention. That was unbelievable.
It got the Sun-Times with Mark Potash put me in.
Right.
And then I remember I said, Mark, can we put Bears Barroom? And he goes, Mike, we already did the type. That's fine. And by the way, I just want to say this. If you've been reading the Sun-Times on Fridays, they miss me. That's all I'm going to say, okay? and you know what? I know the feeling because I've had years like that when I was with the Sun-Times.
Yeah.
I didn't have it last year. That's what got me all the notoriety. I won the championship and everything else. But those poor guys are going through what I've been through in the past, and it's just one of those years for certain people. And you know what? You can't hide it, and that's the worst thing. And that's why I do Accountability Tuesday. This week, Accountability Tuesday was a joy.
Oh, yes. And head over to VegasScoresAndOdds.com. The leaderboard is there. You will see Mike North's name plastered all over it. Great won and loss right
Denny Macklin's doing great this year.
Mm-hmm.
He's made some adjustments to his game. We got some great guys. Ronnie Camacho, great guy that runs it. Great people. They have faith in me and Aldo. They're going to be doing some more stuff, hopefully, with us. They're trying to get out of some tedious radio deals when it comes to they've had long-term contracts that were signed by other people. So we'll see what happens with that. But they're reorganizing. We've picked up a lot of people on Twitter. Check them out at VSAO Sports. VSAO Sports. And the partnership that Aldo and I have with them has been fantastic.
Indeed. Chicago Dave in the chat room says that Uncle Mikey won some money from me this week. Thank you very much.
You know what? That's what I like to hear. You know how many thank yous I got this week for the 3-0? I got 1 or 2, which was good because that's what I got a couple bad ones when I went 0-3 a couple weeks ago. Look, all I know is this. I'm going to finish above 500. Period.
Yeah. Yep.
It's you know what? It's a fact. Jack. I think Bill Murray said that back in the day in Stripes.
Stripes,
That's
right.
what I'm going to do. Exactly. Barnicky, he owes me money.
I love it. All right, let's talk some football. Over at Hallis Hall today, Mitch Trubisky and Matt Nagy met the media, and of course, the big topic of discussion was the injury that has been diagnosed as a hip pointer for Mitch Trubisky, and the quarterback was asked, how are you going about with the rehab? And this was his response.
They have a plan in place to where we're not overdoing it, but we're getting enough to where I'll have a good idea if I'll be able to play on Sunday and just take it one day at a time. But I feel pretty confident that whatever they give me, I'm just going to keep taking it, feeling good, keep going and communicating back and forth and keep monitoring it and just make sure that there's no setbacks.
He sounded like he was probably going to play. Of course, we won't know more until we get reports as to how long the practices were and how much he participated in it. Do you think Mitch Trubisky playing against the New York Giants at Soldier Field on Sunday is going to make a difference if he's 100% or a little under 100%?
I don't think it will. I don't think it will make a difference. I think the thing is he going to play? I mean, I think everybody expects him to play. And this hip pointer came out of nowhere. Like I said the other day, you're running option plays and you knew he was hurt. Yesterday, Nagy said he didn't know what the extent of the injury is. Come on, you're the head coach. They're playing games like I predicted. I said Monday. There's no doubt in my mind they'll make this injury worse. I listed all the quarterbacks I saw limp and walk slowly. From Joe Namath to Ben Roethlisberger, to Chris and Phil Simms. I can name a million of them. He should play. There's guys playing hurt worse than he is. And you know what? The only thing I think hurt right now is with Nagy and Trubisky is their feelings. I really believe that. I don't believe that he's all that hurt. And if we're gonna, and if he's gonna sit out, it's only gonna hurt him. Because Chase Daniel, I'm gonna be honest with you. We saw a line go from 2.5 to 6.5 against the Bears when when Stafford wasn't gonna play.
Right.
If whatever the line is now for the Bears, and I'll check real quick here.
I think it's -6 according to what I've got here.
Okay. If Chase Daniel plays, I don't think it changes all that much.
I kind of agree with you. Yeah.
There's no drop off.
Right.
That's what's sad. For a second pick in the draft or Chase Daniel. It reminds me of when the Bears had Josh McCown and they brought Cutler back after Josh was 3-2 and we were on a roll, and then we blew it.
Yep.
And then we blew it. There was no difference. In fact, McCown was better than Cutler at the time, in my opinion. They brought Cutler back and we lost.
Brummy Bear, who is listening in live from the UK, says, spot on, Mike.
I love the UK.
It's just a cover-up now.
Churchill's my guy.
He says it's just a cover-up so Nagy doesn't lose face. So he agrees.
I don't care. A hip pointer? I saw Bo Jackson play with no hip.
Oh, how about that?
I saw him play with no hip. I saw him hit balls to center field as a baseball player, which wasn't even his best sport. The pity party will be engulfed by the mainstream Bear media. You'll think he's Lou Gehrig by the time they're done, and it's a hip pointer. I played with, hey, look, there's guys that play softball, that play sports. They play hurt all the time. Nobody wants to hear it.
Right. Well, and Matt Nagy was asked at today's press conference if there was any thought to maybe just shutting down Mitch Trubisky for the season, given that he's playing with a brace on his shoulder, so that's not 100%. His hip pointer is apparently an issue, and he's faced psychologically a tough season. This was his response.
We need to see where he's at. We need to see where our offense is at and continue to just keep rolling. And we want him to be out there today at practice, and we want him to be out there this week as a starter. I'm hoping that's the case. I just don't like these type of injuries. Like when you ask me that question, these type of injuries.
Cut it out.
Chicago Dave says, I hate this guy's voice.
What the hell? This guy is so programmed. He's a robot. He's like, what happened? I mean, my God, it's ridiculous. Look, you either got heart to play or you don't. I'm sorry. With this nonsense, he was shocked he was taken out of the game.
Yeah.
And you know what? They're using this. I don't care. I think really in his heart, Nagy's hoping he can't play. I believe that in his heart, because you know what? He needs to win a game, doesn't he?
Yep. Well, and if he wins with Chase Daniel at quarterback, it will help his argument that it's the quarterback's fault why we're not winning. Look, we're winning with the backup, but not with the starter. And with Ryan Pace so invested, I mean, this is Ryan Pace's quarterback, not Matt Nagy's.
That's why Nagy's got to basically say to himself, I know I took the job, but I know that when I was with Kansas City, I had no use for Trubisky. Basically.
Right.
I don't think he was a big Trubisky guy, but to get this job, he had to eat what Ryan Pace gave him. So it wouldn't surprise me if Nagy said, it's a shame Mitch can't play, and then went in the next room and popped champagne. Because then if they have a great game with Chase Daniel, although Bear fans, 25% of us are smart enough to know that's not only Trubisky, it is Nagy, it's the front office, it's the defense, which hasn't performed. It's Mac and other people.
Now, let's go back to 2018, the Bears.
That's a long time ago. I don't know about
for me, it is. Last night
every year is like a tear forms. Come on now.
Saquon Barkley for the New York Giants. This was after the Bears, with Chase Daniel, won on Thanksgiving Day against the Lions. Then the following week, the Bears blew one against the Giants with Chase Daniel at quarterback, and probably one of the biggest culprits, nemesis nemesis in that game was Saquon Barkley, the running back for the Giants. He had 125 yards rushing. He had a 29-yarder that was a backbreaker. But this season, the story has been different for Barkley. After starting the season with 2 straight 100-plus yards rushing, the last 3 games, he had 1 yard with 13 rushes, 28 yards for 14 rushes, and 64 for 19. The bye week came at a good time for him, but what do you think about Barkley? Do you think he could potentially have a dominant game against this Bears defense?
Oh, yeah, he could have a dominant game against this Bears defense. There's no question about that, but you know what? All the running backs aren't as good this year.
Yeah.
Zeke isn't doing anything.
How about it? Yeah.
The only running back that's been as consistent as he was last year, except for the fact that he was banged up this week and didn't play, I don't think Jordan Howard is the only one that's having about the same year.
Yeah.
But he was like 3rd or 4th on the depth chart anyway. But Todd Gurley had finally a big game. He'd been suffering. And who do you have it against? The Bears.
Right.
Okay, so I think the same thing's going to happen. I think that the Bears' defense is different under Pagano. You brought up a good point Monday, excuse me, when you said, and yes, Aldo brings up good points, ladies and gentlemen. He brings up good points. Don't ever, who's that over there? Don't badmouth Aldo to me. I got a shift.
That's my wife.
Wait a minute. Hold on for a minute. Oh, yeah. Eddie, no, anyway, seriously. Aldo brought up a great point. And this is the truth, and it goes to everything else that's going on. When you got a guy like Barkley, okay, or when you got a guy you got to stick to the plan. And you know what? It's Nagy's fault that Montgomery isn't doing better. It's not Trubisky's fault, is it?
Nope.
All right. Whose fault is it that Khalil Mack's not doing as well? When Aldo brings up last week, ladies and gentlemen, Monday, that guess what? He's covering in pass more than he did last year.
Yep.
He used to rush all the time. And I didn't really notice all that, but you're right. And there's another thing they did last year that Aldo brought up Monday, folks. Yes, I do listen to Aldo. They moved him around more. Yeah. And by the way, Vic Fangio, he's going to be fired from Denver anyway. There's a reason I had told people you're not an assistant for 30 years and all of a sudden become a head coach. Now he's having communication problems. There was a reason. That was a bad pickup by Elway. So I just want to let everybody know, Ryan Pace may be the worst general manager in the NFL right now with the way that he's gone about things, and there's a good argument from moving up to Trubisky to now the Khalil Mack trade looks bad to a lot of other things. He looks bad, but John Elway has been crapping the bed lately too. And to hear that a 65-year-old former assistant's having trouble communicating with today's players is something that isn't unpredictable.
How about that? I just can't fathom why John Elway would want to rehire John Fox, because that's what Fangio is. He's a reincarnation of John Fox. He hated John Fox.
Fox was a better head coach.
I won't argue with that, but Elway hated Fox for his conservative approach to offense. Fangio is the same way. He's not. In fact, Joe Flacco publicly criticized his head coach Vic Fangio for the conservative nature, particularly since they've got a losing record. He was saying, why not go for it? And so that's a mess in Denver.
I mean, with all the guys that he could have picked, to pick Vic Fangio because of 1 year and because of Khalil Mack. Khalil Mack last year, if he has the year that he's having this year last year, he might be fired, that guy, because Mack turned everything around. Regardless of how much you criticize, I criticize the guy for today. There's no question that he pumped something into the franchise. But the other people, including him now, are screwing that buzz we had up.
Now, you mentioned Khalil Mack and Chuck Pagano on WBBM News Radio. I don't have the soundbite, but this is what he said regarding Khalil Mack's lack of production. I mean, he didn't have a single tackle in Sunday's game. Pagano said that that's kind of the blueprint that everyone is following, double and triple teaming Mack. It's week to week. When we go in, we've got to face a great running back coming up Sunday, so we're going to try to do everything to free up Mack and hope that Mack can wreck the game. So they're having some difficulties scheming Mack to get more one-on-ones, or at least, less attention than the 2-on-1s and the 3-on-1s that he's facing.
I compared this guy to Wilbur Marshall.
Yep.
Wilbur Marshall got double-teamed.
Yep.
J.J. Watt gets double-teamed.
Uh-huh.
Aaron Donald gets double-teamed. I mean, Lawrence Taylor got triple-teamed. I'm not comparing Khalil Mack to any of them now.
Right.
Because he's been triple-teamed since 2016.
Yeah.
And he won defensive MVP. So Pagano's full of crap. He's trying to that quote is for the Bear fans that are casual or the lowest common denominator that don't know the game. Because Khalil Mack has been double-teamed. Screw the triple-team. If you triple-team Khalil Mack every play, which I think he gets triple-teamed 2 to 3%, I think out of every 100 plays, what triple-team means, if he gets by the first one, maybe somebody brushes him. There's not 3 guys immediately going after him. And by the way, I can name you Butkus, Taylor, Nitschke. All these guys were double-teamed. Doug Atkins, J.J. Watt, his brother. You don't think they're double-teaming Nick Bosa? I mean, give me a break about this. All of a sudden now, and I'm telling you another thing. There's been times he's been single-blocked this year and can't get by people. Oh. And that's the truth. Watch the games, folks.
Yep. I hear you. Hey, Alyssa Barberi is in the chat room.
I'm exhausted. Let me take a break here for a minute. Wow.
Alyssa is the co-host of Buffon 55. She's in the chat room.
God bless her.
Yes, and she reminds me.
My son, Italia.
Exactly.
Hey, hey.
And her presence there reminds me that she just recently wrote an article about Eddie Pinheiro and that Matt Nagy has said he is sticking with his kicker. And this is what Nagy said at today's press conference about the kicking woes of Eddie Pinheiro.
But I haven't. Again, this is everything gets magnified, and it's frustrating because he wants to make it. I know he's competitive as hell. He wants to make that. He's mad at himself. We know that. So we want him to know that we got confidence in him. And when you get a chance to go back out there, the thing to me that was a little bit different was what we talked about was it was 2 in a row that he missed, and that's what we're working through. And so now when we get back out there, he's gonna make them. And
win it. The hell is going on? Can you imagine that guy leading the troops?
If he talks like that, that's gonna be a problem.
I watched Patton yesterday.
Oh, the great George C. Scott movie, Patton.
Oh my God, I'm watching Patton. I'm going, this guy was unbelievable. I'm gonna beat this guy to Sicily. I'm gonna beat this guy to Burma. This guy would go, where is Sicily? Where is Burma? I mean, come on. The kid hasn't gotten the job done. What do you want me to do? Just say he's got to make the kicks. What is with all the explaining? And we're working through 2 misses? Like you work through the Cody Parkey misses? And I'm going to say this once again. For anybody that's listening, all the people in the bar room, everybody that I love and adore, they should bring Cody Parkey in for a damn tryout again, because I told Aldo at the beginning of the season he would have won the kicking derby if he had come under an assumed name in a disguise. Period. But here's another thing I got for everybody. And I saved this for my buddy Aldo. Because he's my buddy and he's my pal. And we've been together. How many shows has it been, by the way?
We are at 88, approaching 100.
Okay, I want something like you had for the daughter with the wedding.
Yeah.
For the 100th. For the 100th.
You got it.
Maybe I'll come by the house and say hi to to Doodles and give him a biscuit. I love that dog.
Maybe if we plan the 100th show for after January 1st, we'll have legal marijuana. We could celebrate that way, Mike.
Yeah, that would be awesome. I don't inhale. I don't inhale.
America's team in the chat room says, why does Aldo keep torturing us with these Matt Nagy sound bites?
Because it's so contrived, robotic. I worked with the best that ever did it, Mike Ditka.
Oh, yeah.
He intimidated the media.
Yep.
He made the media laugh. Me and him were buddies, man. I knew what made him tick. He said to me one time, I'll never forget it. It's going to be in the movie Raging Mouth, which, by the way, were the finishing touches and script number the second act.
Second act, right.
We're hoping, and by the way, late 2020 is my target, and I'm praying that it goes by that. But everybody keeps telling me 90% of the movies never hit the target that you want.
Yeah.
Like I'm supposed to be like that then. Okay?
That's right.
So like, what are you telling me? And you know what? That's what I'm hearing from other people. Not Adam Rifkin, not Jeremy Morrison. But I'm going to tell you, there's going to be a Ditka in the movie.
Awesome.
And he was the master. Well, the one scene happens when my dad, who was a cross between Johnny Cash's father, okay,
right.
If you remember, Walk the Line.
Oh, sure.
And other times, Patty Duke's father, okay, was a good guy.
Okay, right.
Okay, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, sure.
I think they call it bipolar now. All right?
That's right.
Only back then, it was called I'm grouchy. Or I'm sad. And now to get your pills, I mean, that's what it's called. I mean, we're all bipolar. According to the damn bipolar thing, we're all bipolar. I'm the worst case of all time if we're going to go by that. I'm just saying, Aldo.
Oh, that's hilarious.
What the hell are we talking about? Now I got the
You were talking about Ditka.
Ditka's the best that ever did it.
He's got a scene in the movie.
He's got a scene in the movie. My dad, it's not registering. After 3 months, 4 months, we had just had no ratings in the third month. But now in the 6th month, all of a sudden, boom. And all of a sudden, we're making as much money. We're a daytime-only station with McNeil Boers and everything else. And Jiggs and myself and Tom Scher and Judd Surratt and Jesse Rogers, the great ones. The ones that knew how to do it. The ones that got it done. We were Destination Radio. If you weren't there, we'll be in the movie. But and Ditka just made us a genius signing by the genius Danny Lee, who should be in the Radio Hall of Fame.
Absolutely.
You got WXRT and you got WSCR. You invented them, and you're not in the Radio Hall of Fame? Give me a break, okay? Now, that being said, Ditka was the master. He knew how to manipulate the press. The press will not be manipulated by this guy. It's never going to happen. They got him where they want him. He's on the defensive. I know these people. And the same thing happened to me with Ditka. My mom and dad go to Ditka's, right? And they're sitting there. And they're at a table with 10 people. And Ditka show. I talked my dad into going. My mom knew that the score, I'm on the radio. But my dad's going to, okay, you're on the radio, blah, blah, blah. They're at the thing. And my dad is with about 8, 9 other people that they don't know. They're at big tables, right?
Right.
It's at Cumberland. And they go, my mom goes, boy, a lot of people here to see the coach. Isn't that wonderful? And my dad goes, well, Ditka's pretty big. And somebody breaks in. He goes, I don't know who you are, pal, but we're here to see the new guy.
Awesome.
Go on. And my dad then, it hit my dad, like, wait a minute. Hold on. You're kidding. And they go, are you kidding me? This guy's the best. Have you heard him? And he goes, I'm his father. And they go, and you don't realize what's going on? like that, and that's the rest. That's one of the scenes.
Yeah, well, it's going to be in the book too. That is when you first
Oh, well, I already told you the book.
Yeah,
And as soon as football season comes, we're commencing with the book. We're on R or G. I don't even know where we're at.
We're up to the letter T, and for those of you who don't know, the autobiography of Mike North, where every chapter is going to be a letter. Right. It's an idea he came up with, and it's brilliant, and we're having a lot of fun.
And let me just say this on behalf of Aldo and myself and the odds couple, anything involving me, this is where you're going to get your news. If you're looking in any of the dailies or any of the critics, believe me, you won't see much about us. That's all I'm going to tell you.
Hey, I asked people in the chat room who would they like to see play Mike Ditka. I'm going to give you my idea first. Jeremy Renner. What do you think of Jeremy Renner? He was in the Hurt Locker. He is one of the Marvel superheroes. Do you know who Jeremy Renner is?
He's never going to make it. I got to look him up.
He's a big name. He's done some really good stuff.
All right. Here's to be honest with you, though. Some of these, what happens with them is if you want a guy like Timberlake and Jessica Biel, let's say, to play Mike and Bibi, and you got a kid like Kevin Pollak maybe playing Danny Lee.
Yeah.
These are just ideas. Okay. Now the other actors have to be lesser known.
Correct.
You're not going to stock, big time guys. So I think a Ditka might be one of those guys, or I got a guy that would be good.
Okay.
All right. Who's the guy? Jeff Daniels.
Oh, yeah.
Get a mustache on Jeff Daniels.
He's a great actor.
He's a hell of an actor. He's big. He's imposing. I don't know. But when I knew Ditka, the best was 92, 93, to 2006, 7. So in 1992, Ditka's 80 now, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, Jeff Daniels might be a good fit.
Jeff Daniels would be a good fit. Here are a couple suggestions from the chat room. Zach Sullivan says Jack Black, the comedian who did School of Rock. That would be fascinating. I bet you he could pull it off.
If Jack Black was in, I'll tell you what, then we go lesser with somebody else.
Right. Well,
for instance, there's been debate about, do you get a Timberlake type and a big budget movie, or do you go with another kid like that kid Ike Barinholtz?
Yeah, I like him a lot.
Is it Ike Barinholtz?
Barinholtz, correct.
Let me just say this. He's a hell of an actor,
really?
And he listened to me when I was on the Score because he's from Rogers Park.
That's right, Chicago.
And he's heard about the project. So that might be another way, and that would be lesser than bringing in these two studs. But if you get them two, they're married to begin with. That's why me and Bibi like them.
Well, the thing, too, about
Timberlake is a talented kid,
yeah.
And Jessica Biel and Bibi are basically, back in the day,
lookalikes.
I'm not bragging, they're lookalikes.
Absolutely.
Timberlake's not as good dancer as I am, and he can't carry a tune. But you know what? I hope he can master the acting thing.
Benicio del Toro as Mike Ditka. Now that's a big name, but you get him in for one day.
Benicio del Toro is Rick Renteria. Quit it.
No. He could do Ditka. I like that suggestion by Swanky.
Because he was tremendous as the lawyer in the Johnny Depp movie about Hunter Thompson.
Oh, yes, exactly. You remember
know
that.
What? Can I tell you I love Benicio del Toro, number one. Let me tell you this about Benicio del Toro.
Uh-huh.
To play that role, okay, as the attorney for Hunter Thompson, and this is all you need to know about the liberal side of the press, that maniac is their hero, okay? That's all I'm going to tell you, okay? That guy is revered. I think Rick Tellender loves him, which explains everything to me, okay? But Benicio del Toro, to get ready for that role where he is so good, as a degenerate, drug-infested weasel, lawyer, I mean, great.
Yes.
16 donuts a day for 3 months.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, that's awful. I could never.
I read up on it. It was no fat suit like the Roger Ailes movie with Russell Crowe.
Oh, that was awful makeup on him.
I thought, but you know what? I thought it was as good as you can do.
Yeah, probably.
My God. Benicio del Toro. The same thing with LaMotta. The LaMotta story, Raging Bull. Robert De Niro went to the extra mile. He said, I'm going to eat 6 times a day, but I'm going to eat in Paris, all the rich food.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Food of Paris.
A lot of carbs. Hey, here's one that is getting a lot of positive vibes in the chat room. Oil Pan Willie suggests Ed O'Neill.
I love Oil Pan Willie.
Actually, it was Brummy Bear that first came up with it, and Oil Pan Willie seconds it. Ed O'Neill, who is the lead actor on Married with Children and now is on Modern Family, I think he could pull it off.
How old is he?
He's up there like mid-60s, so he would be a little older than you want.
What did he do to his hair, too? We'd have to get him a wig.
Yeah, well, that wouldn't be hard.
He went gray, but I think he's a possibility.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I love him, too. Who doesn't love Married with Children?
What about What about America's team suggestion of Ray Liotta?
Love him, too.
Oh, great.
Ray Liotta, look it. I'm going to tell you something right now. The most miscast actor in history was Ray Liotta in Field of Dreams.
Oh, I have to agree with that.
Have you ever seen a picture of Shoeless Joe Jackson? He looks like the guy that used to buy us beer when we were kids. Okay, he is Southern guy through and through.
Yes.
Hardly has any hair at all.
Yes.
Ray Liotta, for Christ's sake, he looked like Clark Gable. You know.
Exactly.
I mean, it was so miscast. I got to tell you a great story.
All right.
So I'm at ESPN this party the other night.
Uh-huh.
And they had the guys from New York there and the guys from California, all these salespeople to see Jimmy Pastor. And I'm watching these guys and I'm talking to them. And as I'm talking to them, I started talking to them about movies. And when you start thinking, do you really want to make sure that they look alike? Because that's the one thing that I'm having trouble. You know what? Even that movie with Tom Cruise, what's it called?
Where he's the drug runner?
Yeah, the guy weighed 320 pounds.
Right.
He was and very unattractive.
Yeah, very unattractive. I saw
And
that.
now you got Tom Cruise playing. See, I don't want that either.
Yeah.
You know?
I agree.
So, I mean, just one of those deals where, I mean, it's going to be fun casting. You know, Aldo, you're going to be in.
Yeah, America's.
I think you might play. There's a couple guys I had in mind for you.
Tom Scher. I should play Tom Scher.
You know who I got? Tom Scher.
No, I couldn't do that.
You know who Tommy was? No, you couldn't play Tom Scher. You know who I have in mind for Tom Scher?
Yeah. Who?
I had Pat Tomasulo.
Oh, he would be great.
If you put the glasses on,
Yeah.
Pat is Tom Scher. I'm sorry, and I don't mean to. I mean, Tom was clean. He was cleaner than the Board of Health, wasn't he?
Yes, he was.
Yeah.
He was.
And you know what? He was Niedermeyer. Tom was the guy at the ROTC guy in Animal House. There's nothing he could do. There was nothing he could do. He tried so hard. He did set good example, but we weren't ready for that.
That's
you know?
great. All right, we are way off track.
I know what
here.
I was going to tell you.
Okay, go ahead. We're going to have a long show today.
What time is it?
It's 3:40. It's okay. Go ahead. Tell me your story.
40 minutes, for Christ's
We've
sake.
got no restrictions
What are
on
you,
this show.
winded? You're the guy that does 3 hours and here for the 15th time on Bear Barroom after the game.
Oh,
I
my
think
gosh.
Trubisky sucks, and I gotta and you're exhausted.
No, I'm not exhausted.
What happened to you? No, my last story on Field of Dreams.
Okay.
Joe Matardo was my producer one day, and he was from the XRT side, and he wanted to impress me and Jigs. So he plays the Field of Dreams music, okay? And the first thing you heard from me on the talkback, the first time I ever talked to him,
Right.
get that shit off right now.
Why?
Because that wasn't us, man. We had
Yeah,
four,
that's true.
you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Field of Dreams. What am I, WGN?
That's for sure you weren't.
Come on now. All right, Al, go ahead.
All right.
I know you're pressed.
No, here's the thing is that
I know you got 19 things going. You have to show-
no, it doesn't matter. We could go as long as you want, but on Wednesday, usually at 30 minutes in, we do something very special.
Oh, you're right. Oh, get up.
That's
I
right.
know. You're mad because we got to get these picks out. To not only, by the way, can I just say, I thought the Ukraine was like our Skokie. I just got to say that, wasn't that right now? I never thought it was all that. You know what I mean?
Sure.
But apparently I missed. It's not Skokie. It's like Barrington. Okay? Anyway. There it is. Now, Elko. You're having the time of my life.
Let me tell people what we're up to here because we got so many new listeners here. Every Wednesday, Mike North hands out 3 free picks. Last week he was 3-0. This week he's looking to be 3-0 again. And if you want more information, you go to VegasScoresAndOdds.com. Tell them more about that, Mike.
All right, Aldo, first of all, thank you very much for that. But also, Vegas Scores and Odds, I got a game up for tonight, plus these 3 picks. All right? They know what the 3 picks are because they're great sponsors. For the free number, it's 1-866-504-2201. 1-866-504-2201. Right now, I'm 15-11 the last 7 days. 6-3 in the NFL the last 7 days. 6-5 in college football the last 7 days. Dennis Macklin right now, 16-7 the last 7 days off sports.
Nice.
So he's getting it done. Denny has made great adjustments. Him and I are battling it out. I'm 6-3 the last 7 days. He's 6-2. Johnny Anthony's doing a great job. Tony Sacco, Bryce Bell. We got a stable of champions, ladies and gentlemen. It's like, look, right now, Macklin and I are like Ruth and Garrett. You know what I mean? They're like Pesci and De Niro.
I love it.
Like Vivian Lee and Clark Gable. All right? And Gone with the Wind. That's what we are. We trade punches back and forth. We're like Jake LaMotta and Sugar Ray Robinson. They met 6 times in 5 months. I don't know what the hell happened. All I'm telling you is Vegas Scores and Odds. We are on fire. Now, Aldo, he's going, I asked for something 10 minutes ago. I don't know. I even forgot what it was. Okay? Here's what I'm going to tell everybody, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to get the current lines out to let you know these are Saturday games. Now, last week, I go to Aldo. Aldo, I'm in a tough spot. And he goes, what do you mean you're in a tough spot? When are you ever in a tough spot? I go, I had an 0-3 week. I got to do better than that. I got to get myself together. So last week, I went from picking basketball. I said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do what made me big. But I said, I'm going to keep the NFL for the odds couple, and I'm going to keep NCAA football for my guy, Aldo Gandia, and the fine folks at Barris Barroom. And guess what? Ladies and gentlemen, I go 6-2 total. 3-2 on the odds couple, and I go 3-0 on Barris Barroom. So it worked. Now, my first game, as Aldo's starting to doze off, going, I feel like I just took an overnight bus trip from Memphis. Speaking of Memphis, they're playing this week. They almost made the cut.
Oh,
okay?
Almost, but not quite, huh?
They did not quite make the cut. Here's who made the cut. I'm going to try something again.
Okay.
This is what I do. Tempo versus Cincinnati.
Ooh,
all right?
Okay.
Tempo. Now, last week, Tempo had a rough go of it. Cincinnati did too. But Cincinnati's 9-1, Tempo 7-3. I'm looking at the line. It's minus 10.5. And they're playing at Cincinnati. Temple known for defense. The over-under is 45.5. I have a parlay that I want to try. Now, you can play the games individually, which I do, or if you want, you can take, if you bet, let's say, $25 on Cincinnati under and Cincinnati, let's say, okay, you'll win 65. Let's say you have 100, okay, then you win 130, okay? That's what you do. You win more money, but you don't win as much as if you made 2 straight bets and won them both. Let's say you go a nickel on Cincinnati and a nickel on the under Cincinnati, because those are my 2 picks for that game. That game is going to be a 6 o'clock game. Temple, 7-3. Cincinnati, 9-1. I have Cincinnati minus the 10.5. I'm going to even be bolder. I might go with the money line on this too, minus 380.
Wow.
So this is the first time ever on any that I've ever heard on any venue. I don't care if you're talking about all these services. Vegas Scores and Odds hasn't even done this. I'm taking 3 picks in one game. I'm taking Cincinnati minus 10.5. I'm taking the under 45.5. And I'm taking minus 380 the money line to win 100. And if Cincinnati loses outright, you'll see me swinging from the Granville L stop, okay, with a chain hooked around my neck. All right, that's all I'm going to tell you. So that I'm going all 3 on that. He's upstairs going, why? Why? You were just going to be simple. You finally figure it out because DB understands. If you don't try new things in life, and I'm proof of it, and so is Aldo, you're never going to make nothing of yourself.
That's right.
Playing it safe ain't my style, okay?
That's
All
for
right.
sure.
And now Duke. Now everybody's going, Duke, what? We don't want basketball. You just said you're going to go basketball. I go, whoa. I didn't say I was taking basketball with Duke. I'm taking football. And let me just tell you right now, I can't even find a line. That's how much they think about Duke. Let me just go down the thing here. Here it is. 6:30. Saturday, same game, okay? Same time, same bat champ. All right? You have Wake Forest, 7-3 against Duke, 4-6 at Wake Forest.
Wow.
Wake Forest, take it easy with the wow, okay? Last time I heard you say wow was at that beef joint and you wanted the beef cut in half after you saw how big it was.
I took some home.
I'll never forget that. They go, what are the 3 most damaging things in your life? I say, basically, I drank a little bit too much at times, got a couple DUIs. Another, my report card, bringing it home to my father was very damaging. And hearing Aldo go, wow, because his beef sandwich was too big. I've never gotten over that. When was that? When we first met?
I think that was like our second meeting.
Yeah, but don't worry, I'll forget about it.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. You're the funniest guy I know. Listen, such a talented young man. Here we go. Duke +7. So I got Cincinnati under. I got Cincinnati minus the 10.5. I think it's going to be, I'm going to give it 10.5, and I'm taking the money line minus 3.5. And I'm also taking Duke. A first-time only deal. 4 picks on one show. VSAO. Vegas Scores and Odds. Check them out, folks.
Awesome.
You know what? I felt like I was lost in the forest, but I found my way out. I'm on Lakeshore Drive right now.
Walking? Or?
We got a record. I'm hearing we got a record number of people on the chat board now.
We do indeed.
Who's that young lady?
Alyssa Barbieri, excuse me.
Is she related to the lady from L.A.? Jillian?
No,
Barbieri?
she's not.
Okay. I bet she's been asked that.
Yeah, I bet you a lot of times.
Is she from Chicago?
No, she actually was born in Detroit and now lives down in Florida, but she is a diehard Chicago Bears fan. I met her at Bourbonnais, and she is great with John Buffon every Tuesday evening.
I just put out the tweet for them the other night. God
That's right.
bless it.
That's right.
You know, the John thing, thank God, with the open shirt like he's Superman. I love that deal.
That's pretty cool, right?
Well, listen, I'm not going to front John. He's a serious dude. The guy takes a hyperbaric bath, or what is it, the bath thing? He gets in the chamber of death, or whatever the hell it is.
Exactly.
And the girl got congrats for getting out of Detroit alive. God bless.
That's a good one.
I went through Detroit one time. I was with my buddy. I said, hey, I think we're lost. We're on our way to Grand Rapids. Let me ask those 4 guys with the bandanas on their heads. He goes, keep driving.
Yeah, faster than you were before, that's for sure.
I ended up in Windsor.
All right, I want to talk about the Packers at San Francisco 49ers. The 49ers are giving 3 points on this, but first, before we get into some more of the specifics, listen to what I found. According to the NFL, this game marks the 5th time since 2007 that teams with 2 or fewer losses have played each other this late in the season. The winners of the last 2 such games, which are the Broncos in 2015 and the Seahawks in 2013, they went on to win the Super Bowl at the end of their season. So you think there's any chance we're going to see the Packers or the Niners win the Super Bowl this season?
I think the NFC's wide open. Don't you? I thought, the Bears were supposed to be there, okay? But Minnesota was the team that people were doubting. I think Minnesota looks good. We talk about Green Bay. You have Aaron Rodgers. I think Minnesota right now is the best team in the conference, in my opinion. I don't know if they have the best quarterback, but I do know that I think they have the best overall skill position talent. I think their defense is better. I think that Minnesota could end up winning this thing. You don't have the Rams. They have an outside chance getting in. So I think you have a more varied field than we thought. We thought we'd see the Bears. We thought we'd see the Rams. I think the 49ers look awfully good. I thought that Garoppolo coming back last week from behind, and what a game that was. I mean, I had the 49ers. And let me tell everybody, I had the money line, and I also had the -10. On Yurko's show and Carmen's, I gave it out at, if you wanted to take it, -10.5 at the time. But if you bet it on Sunday, you got it at 10. So I love that team too. I think it's wide open. I'm sort of liking Minnesota for some reason, and I can't stand them for the most part usually. You know, I mean, Dante Culpepper, kill me now. Tommy Kramer, I want to walk into a wall because that's what he used to do when he went out drinking. Just like myself. You know, Carl Eller, they used to torture us. The Purple People Eaters, Bill Brown, Dave Osborne. I respect Coach Grant. He didn't have the heaters on the sideline. They're a tough team.
Yep.
They have a good defensive coach now.
Yep.
Their uniforms aren't as purple as they used to be if you watch.
Oh, that's good point. Yeah.
Can I just ask one question? I have football cards with Mick Tingelhoff,
Oh.
with a Chuck Foreman,
Whoa.
with a Fran Tarkenton, when their uniforms were purple. Now it's like a dark purple. I'm talking purple, man. Not violet, but purple. Have you noticed? If you look up their uniforms, don't they look a different shades on TV? Just me.
I'm looking at it right now.
Are there different shades?
Yes, definitely.
Go back to the way it was.
Yeah.
Look, you don't think I made my money because I don't notice? Everybody else don't notice. I notice. I'm an NFL. I am the unofficial NFL expert. I know what the uniforms were like. And boy, Fran Tarkenton's was like a violet almost, wasn't it?
Yep. Hey, Mike, I just looked this up. If you got a pristine card of Mick Tingelhoff, it's worth about $200 on eBay.
Listen to me. Mick Tingelhoff, is he snapping the ball between his legs? He always took that picture where he had the crew cut.
Yes.
He had the flat top. Okay.
Yes.
That's the one. Let me tell you, Butkus spit on the ball. When they played each other, and Tingelhoff and him went at it a couple times. He used to spit on the ball before he snapped it.
Who was it? Did he have a brother also that was a center?
No, that's Mick Tingelhoff, man.
Yeah, but I know there was.
Well, there were other Mike Webster, Jim Otto, 00. Those were great centers. Mick Tingelhoff, those are great centers. Dwight Stevenson from the Dolphins. These are great centers. You don't hear a whole lot about great centers. Cody Whitehair can't even snap the ball. I can snap the ball. Mm-hmm. Cody Whitehair can't even snap the ball to the quarterback.
No.
Right?
No.
Is that your guy? That's one of your guys.
That is my guy, Cody Whitehair. But you're right.
I thought you had a room together, you guys.
No. But you're right.
Cody Whitehair's got to snap the ball better. That's another thing.
He has had serious issues. Now, let's remember, he never played center at college, so he comes into the pros, and he's the best center on the team, but he can't snap out of the shotgun. That's
all right. Ryan Pace, another Ryan Pace production, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, my God, I'd rather Olin Kreutz. I would trust Olin Kreutz right now more than him snapping the football.
Yeah.
And Olin's how old?
Olin is got to be 42 or thereabouts. I can check it real quick.
Can I tell you a great Olin Kreutz story?
Sure.
I was critical of the Bears back then. This is some people's opinion, okay? And I went to Bourbonnais. And I go in one of the bars. And Olin is sitting at the bar. You know how the bar is at that PJ's? I forget what the name is.
Yeah, I think
one
I know
of the bars. You don't know. You guys took a picture. You're all slanted. Anyway, so my God, and they go, boy, they look haggard. And I go, no, that's how they look all the time. They're just tired.
Oh, no. You said that at the bar?
I said when I saw the picture at the bar
of
you guys and Glenn Bragg, they go, boy, they look haggard. I go, no, they look like that all the time, but they're slanted. They're on a slant. Eldo's in the back. He can't even get in. Anyway, I go to the bar, and I go, give me a couple beers. Excuse me, gentlemen. and Olin Kreutz is one of the guys, and I had been
my
critical of the Bears.
Oh, my God.
Oh, he goes, Mike North. Hi, I go, hey, Olin, how you doing? I'm not too good now that I see you.
Oh.
I go, true story. I go, uh-oh, to myself.
Yes.
I'm not, I mean, what's going to happen there? And then he starts laughing.
Well, you're
One of the great guys.
Do you remember
And
the
I
story?
want him to make the Hall of Fame. I want him to make the Hall of Fame, but Jimbo Covert should go in before any Bear lineman.
I agree.
I'm sorry.
I agree. If
Jimbo Covert doesn't go in the Hall of Fame before Olin Kreutz or any of these other guys, and I want Olin to make it, they can wait. And if they're any kind of guys, they know better.
Yeah, I'm with you on that, but I think that the prevailing opinion is that Olin is going to get in before Jimbo, and that Jimbo, may not get in his lifetime, which would be a travesty. A travesty.
Yep, absolutely.
All right, I want to play a soundbite of Green Bay coach Matt LaFleur talking about the importance of this game against the 49ers, and particularly the battle with turnovers. This is Coach Matt LaFleur, Green Bay Packers.
One area where we've done a really good job is winning the turnover battle, and that's going to be huge again this week. You look at the Niners. I think they got 22 takeaways on the season. They're +5, so I think that's going to be an important battle to this game.
Is that a Nagy cut?
These young coaches, they're not.
How is that? If that guy, I wouldn't let that guy. I wouldn't let that guy greet people at a funeral home. Are you kidding me?
Oh, he'd be perfect for that. He's kind of.
No, I mean you got to be a little bit peppier than that.
Yeah,
this guy's unbelievable. He sounds like a driver's ed instructor.
He's a very soft-spoken coach. There's no doubt about it. And San Francisco this year, Mike, is turning the ball over almost 2 times per game, while the Packers are turning it over less than 1 time per game. They're actually in second place in the fewest turnovers per game. So Matt LaFleur is talking about how turnovers are going to be a huge part of this game, and the Vikings are giving 3 points. This is going to be a really interesting matchup from a gambling perspective.
Yeah, I mean, are you kidding me? This is going to be one of the great games. I mean, first of all, I like Matt LaFleur. All kidding aside, I thought they were going to have all sorts of problems, didn't you?
Oh, absolutely.
Didn't we predict that? I didn't think I couldn't figure out how people had them winning 12 games. Remember?
Yep, I'm with you.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So Matt LaFleur, and you got the 49ers. You're talking about a 3-point spread, right?
Right.
Here's my deal. You said that the ratio between turnover and touchdowns is better with the Packers, right?
Right.
But if Garoppolo does what he did last week and throws 4 touchdowns and throws 2 interceptions, wouldn't we like that from our Bear quarterbacks every week?
Absolutely.
That's what I'm talking about here. It don't matter. I know that, Garoppolo, and boy, sometimes he looks like Dan Marino, and other times he looks like Eddie Marino. He was a guy that owned a garage down the street from me back in the day that fixed cars. He couldn't throw a football worth a damn, okay? So what I'm trying to say is he those 2 interceptions, he doesn't throw good interceptions. You know when a guy, Aaron Rodgers throws an interception that is at their end of the field, okay? Yeah. I mean, at the other end of the field. They drive 60 yards, then he throws an interception. Okay, it's almost like a punt. But, man, Garoppolo, he throws interceptions on the goal line when they're ready to score, and that's the thing you got to worry about. I'm sort of leaning right now, and I haven't made my picks yet, towards the Pack. Towards the Pack.
Okay, and I know that's one of your special picks, and people can call that one. But
I haven't charted the game yet, because sometimes I chart the game yet.
Right. Well,
and then that's why I won't. I'm leaning, but then I may go to do the pick on VSAO,
right.
Vegas scores and odds, and I may have the pick the other way, because that's what I'm careful about doing. I don't give out the same picks. Last week, and I went in front of the, I don't know if you've ever heard of them, GAB, WGAB. Have you ever heard of them?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, the World Gambling Association Board. It's in Toronto.
Okay.
They're very hard on pro handicappers, and what I tried to tell them was, I gave out the Notre Dame pick, okay? here on Bears Barroom. It was a genius pick.
Oh,
they
was
kicked
awesome.
the living crap out of Navy.
Yes.
If Navy performs for us on the high seas like they performed against Notre Dame, we're going to be speaking a different language. That's all I'm going to be telling you.
Yes.
But I'm confident we can get the job done.
Yeah.
But I said to them, what happened was Carmen says to me, Mike, we're going to go over some games. And just like with you, I don't script. Okay, with Carmen or with you. Mm-hmm. I believe we got to be sports radio. The way it's done today was not meant to be scripted.
Right.
Okay, the way and they're scripted, first take, first this, first that. No, the first you heard of it was an hour ago in rehearsal. Okay.
Right.
I'm first take because I don't know what we're going to talk about. So Carmen says to me, Mike, I got to tell you, I'm sort of leaning Notre Dame. And I said, well, wait a minute. I said, this doesn't count as an official pick for me. But I took -7 on Bears Barroom.
That's right.
Vegas scores the odds advantage.
Right.
For 2 reasons I said that. One was I did, and it wasn't going to count against my record. And 2, because I got them in. Okay?
Yeah.
I got the name in just like I got Bears Barroom and everybody else.
Sweet.
Yeah, that's what I do.
You're a master at that.
I just try to just get everybody in, make everybody happy, just like I get the odds couple in here. The same deal. The bottom line is I took that game because people called and tweeted and said, thanks for the pick on odds couple. Mm-hmm. So I went in front of the board, but they also screwed me. I said that you should take the 49ers at the time minus the 10.5. And they counted it as a loss with Yurko. I had San Francisco as my main pick, and I said if you want to, you can take the minus 10.5. It went to 10, but they took it as a 10.5. So the World Gambling Association board, Gab, pretty even-handed, but they didn't count that loss against my record with the odds couple. We were 36-26.
Heart 4803 in the chat room says, Gab, you don't want to mess around with them. What kind of a reputation do they have?
A pretty tough reputation. WGAB. They've been against me a couple times with some of the picks. But they also have sided with me like I have. So
excellent. Well, let's talk a little bit about the other NFC North game this week. The Vikings are on a bye, so they're not playing. So it's Detroit.
And I just think Gab we're just playing around.
Yeah, we love Gab, and never heard of them, but we love them.
So what were you going to say, my friend?
It's Detroit Lions versus the Washington Redskins. These two teams, the Skins are 2-7 against the spread in their last 9. The Lions are 0-5 against the spread in their last 5 games. And then at today's press conference, Matt Patricia, the Lions head coach, but he really didn't instill a lot of confidence in me when he was asked about the Redskins, and then this is what he said.
Don't really know this team very well, so we got a lot of work, cut out for us. This week, got to learn, a lot of different names, a lot of different moving parts here, I would say, through the course of their season. So
he doesn't know these players. He's got a lot of studying to do, and it's Wednesday. I don't
Can I tell you something? I can't name you 5 guys on the Washington Redskins.
Yeah, but you're not the head coach.
Yeah, but I bet them last week. Listen to this. This is an unusual thing. I go 3-2 on AM 1000, right?
Right.
I take Detroit, a loser. I take Washington, a loser. I take Notre Dame, a winner. I take the 49ers on the money line in the Rams on the money line. Okay? Mm-hmm. So I go 3-2. Okay? The 2 teams I lost with, I don't know if this has ever happened to me before, are playing each other this week. Okay? The Redskins stink, and I'm here to be the first guy to tell everybody this. Dwayne Haskins is a bust.
Oh. I'm
going to tell you, I watched him at Ohio State. I couldn't figure out what the big deal was. I'm watching him. Do you know he can't play? You know how Colin – I'll tell you who's better than Haskins right now? Colin Kaepernick. I don't care if he's – and he could have 6 beers in him because he's got a little bit of a gut right now because he doesn't work out that much. But Dwayne Haskins can't play pitch and catch. He couldn't hit a 10-yard curl in and throw it in the guy's gut. He threw it to the right, to the left. You can't teach accuracy at a point. And there's a certain point you try everything you can. And some guys can't do it, like Jamarcus Russell, like other guys, and he's one of them. And I'll tell you right now, Patricia's Buffalo and everybody. Now, I don't think Stafford's playing.
No, he's not.
Then I still like that kid. I still like the kid.
Alex Driscoll, I believe his name is.
Dinkle.
Dinkle. Is it Dinkle? No.
Jeff Dinkle, yeah.
Let me look at that. Hold on.
Look it up.
Go ahead.
That's all right. I'll wait.
While I look this up, I want to play.
Let me tell you something. The Detroit Lions and the Redskins both suck. I had Detroit against Dallas. Dallas mowed them down, but the Redskins aren't in the same hemisphere as the Dallas Cowboys, so I would lean towards Detroit right now. And if I have a better, and I'll tell everybody that if I have a clearer reading, I'll put it out on Twitter for the Bears Byron fans. It's
Jeff Driscoll. He is the backup quarterback who will be starting. You said Dinkle.
I know. He was on the Cincinnati Bengals, and he wasn't bad.
That's right. He was a pickup at the beginning of the season.
Bears
I think he might be a better quarterback than Mitch Trubisky right now, to be honest.
If they traded Trubisky for him right now, I'd say, okay, let's try this.
That's right. Let's not look back.
Sometimes a change of scenery, because Mitch has got all sorts of confidence problems. You remember when I said his arrow was pointing up and he was a 6 pointing up? I think he's a 5.5 pointing down right now.
Yeah, well, you remember when he was drafted, that very weekend he went to the United Center for a Bulls game and they booed the hell out of him, so his confidence took a shot right from the beginning.
Have you seen pictures of him? I mean, they showed a picture of him on a program the other day on Twitter.
Uh-huh.
It looks like he colors his eyebrows and his beard darker. He looks like a Groucho Marx type thing. Don't his eyebrows and beard look really dark?
They do. He's got to get rid of that beard. He can't grow a man beard like
How are
I
you supposed to go to restaurants in disguise without a beard?
Well, Dwayne Haskins, as you mentioned, might be using disguises too. Listen to Bill Callahan, the interim coach of the Redskins. So you talk about a guy who seems like he doesn't have a lot of confidence in his quarterback. Listen to him describe Haskins' performance last week against who did he play last week? I think it was the Bills.
Detroit. I told you. They played the who the hell did they play? They played Washington. I lost with them. What am I talking about?
The Bills.
The Bills.
Yeah.
They stink.
And so this is Callahan.
Dwayne at times had good decisions, had good reads. Other times not as good. Still in the learning process phase of progressions, reads, decisions. But overall, I thought there's some good plays he made and some plays he'll learn from and get better from.
Stinks. He stinks.
Translation: he stinks.
He is so bad. I couldn't believe. No, they lost to the Jets.
Was it the Jets? Oh, you're right. Sam Darnold.
Wait a minute. I'm sorry. That was on me, though, because I should have remembered that. But I get the sometimers. I should have remembered it because they were mine. The Redskins were favored. He stinks.
He does stink.
I could smell him from here. I mean, he is so bad. And did you hear? Play that again.
Okay.
Does he even sound like he wants to play him? Listen to this.
No, that's right. That's
Listen
the thing. Here it comes.
Dwayne at times.
This is a natural pause.
Had good decisions, had good reads.
Yeah.
Other times not as good. Still in the learning process phase of progressions, reads, decisions. But overall, I thought there's some good plays he made.
You picked them first. You picked them number one.
That's right.
You got to learn. I mean, what is that worse than progressions? Are you kidding me? These draft experts don't know anything. They're all full of crap. They're all full of crap.
That is true.
Telling me Trubisky was going to be good.
Yeah.
Telling me that this guy stinks. I don't need to see anymore. I'd take Cutler in his drunken state right now, drunk over this guy. Are you kidding me? Jay, I'm saying something positive. This guy, you at least knew where you were throwing the ball. Sometimes you made mistakes. This guy stinks. What a terrible pick. Now watch him throw for 4 touchdowns. You know what happens?
Well, here's the thing.
Because he hears it.
Mm-hmm.
I can get through to guys. Listen, you don't think Chicago players heard my criticism from the 90s to 2010 and didn't want to play better? Mark Carrier and everybody else to shove it in my face?
Yep.
That's the deal, baby.
That's the deal. Well, he's playing a Detroit Lions defense that is ranked 30th in pass defense. They gave up 444 yards to Dak Prescott last week, so there's an opportunity here for him to have a good game against this putrid Lions defense. But again, that's a tough bet, man. Betting on any one of those teams to cover is a trick.
My mother tells me all the time. I tell my mom, she goes, how many interviews did you do? I said, I've done 19,000 interviews, okay? I've interviewed everybody from Warren Beatty to Michael Jordan, okay? I've had Dennis Rodman. I've interviewed people I couldn't understand and interviewed people I did understand. I interviewed George Murasan. I didn't even know what he said to me, okay? I mean,
he was 8 feet tall, wasn't he?
Yeah, I mean, and you know what? I've been to press conferences and everything else, and I can just tell body language and stuff like that. It's just one of those deals, and you got to be able to be honest. And you can tell when somebody's lying to you, can't you, Elds?
Absolutely. I'm totally with you. You get a sense that these guys just don't have any commitment to some of the players they're talking about. We just heard it with Bill Callahan, and we've been hearing it for the last several weeks with Matt Nagy talking about Mitch Trubisky.
Let me tell you something. Callahan, and by the way, Frank Zolich, for you Nebraska fans, you fired him, and it's never been better for you since. That was a big mistake. Congratulations on him. Winning a game last night. Again, I got a game up tonight with Miami of Ohio. Checked it out on Vegas Scores and Odds. But I hear no confidence in Patricia's voice, Nagy's voice, Callahan's voice. Callahan right now sounds like a guy that doesn't want to play him. He inherited this mess.
Yep.
And these people that think these guys are going to be good and they tank for these guys. Mm-hmm. Can you imagine tanking for that?
Oh, jeez. No.
I mean, come on. And when does tanking think things are going to get better?
Oh, my gosh. If you tank,
the Bulls been tanking for 7 years.
Right. I mean, when the Chicago Cubs tanked to get all those draft picks that helped build their World Series championship, I hated those seasons, and I stopped following the Cubs as a result of that because I thought it's almost a form of cheating. You're robbing fans out of their admission price because you're trying to build a team for 4 or 5 years from now. I may not even be alive then. Those were miserable years for
Well, the White Sox are worse if you want to talk local sports and you want to talk about the Bulls. They're run by the same guy.
No, you're right.
You know,
you're right.
And they're that tanking talks BS. The rebuilds now never going to work. I said it last night on Twitter. Anybody that's one of the most overhyped things in sports, and for people to the Sox won 62 games last year. They're supposed to be getting better. I mean, I hate that Jerry Reinsdorf goes, Jesus Christ, I thought they were talking football. They're talking the basketball or football. Jerry, I don't know. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So the tank and stuff, I don't respect teams that don't try to win. I don't.
I'm with you 110%.
Sorry. And that's why I love what the Jets did last week to my Redskins, because the Redskins were -2. Mm-hmm. And then the Jets go and beat them. Yep. I mean, and Sam Darnold looks good. Would you trade Trubisky for Darnold?
Right away.
Right away.
Absolutely.
He says he's been studying film, this and that, basically trying to get better. I mean, and he looks better and he's showing it.
Yeah, I think both of them stink, but I'd rather have Sam Darnold.
Not like Dwayne Haskins.
That's for sure.
All right. Forget about you. Hey, I got a name for you. You want me to give you a name?
Sure.
Ryan Haskins.
Ryan Haskins.
Yeah, forget about what a Jamarcus Haskins. My God.
All right, I want to close the show by talking about these 20 nominees for the NFL's top 100th year.
You know what? I'll go over each name real quick, and I'll write them down where they should be.
Okay, great. Well, no, I've got 20 nominees, and only 10 can go in.
All right, go ahead.
All right. First, Bill Belichick.
He's in number 1.
Paul Brown.
He's in number 10.
Guy Chamberlain.
Richard Chamberlain is a better chance.
Exactly.
So,
Tony Dungy.
No way. Why is he at the top 20 of all time?
I don't know. Let's see.
Because he's on NBC?
No.
Because they're partnered with NBC.
I think the first thing they listed here is the first African-American head coach to win the Super Bowl.
But you know what? Yeah, wasn't he one of the first to be fired that won a Super Bowl?
Probably.
Just saying. Okay, so with all due respect, Tony Dungy.
Okay.
Okay.
So he's out.
You don't belong.
Chamberlain is out. And what about Weeb Eubank?
Wow, he beat the Colts.
Yep.
And he also won with the Colts. He's 9.
2-time NFL champion with the Colts.
He's 9. He won with the Colts, and then he went to the new league and beat the Colts with Joe Namath.
All right. 3-time Super Bowl champion Joe Gibbs.
No.
Ooh. Sid Gillman.
No. When was he a coach?
Sid Gillman was the 1963 AFL coach. He never won a Super Bowl, though.
Yeah. What the hell crap is that?
Yeah, well, they like him because he was the innovator.
But isn't this for head coach?
He was an innovator with the vertical passing game.
But he was an offensive coordinator.
He coached.
He was known more for an offensive coordinator. That's a bogus pick, too.
Well,
I'm just outing these people. Go ahead, my friend.
Bud Grant. It's a tough one.
4 Super Bowls. 3 Super Bowls? 4 Super Bowls?
4 Super Bowls, but 0-4.
Yeah, but he went. Would you like to go 0-4 with the Bears in the Super Bowl?
Hell yeah. I'll lose all 4 of them.
I'll put him 8 for now.
All right. George Halas.
He's number. There's no game without him.
That's right.
2. He's number 2.
Curly Lambeau.
No, because there's better coaches in his own organization.
Wow. First coach to make the forward pass, an integral part of the offense. 33-year NFL coaching record, 229
What
wins.
year was it when he made the forward pass? What year?
They didn't have cars back then.
But Newt Rockne made it before him.
Probably.
Okay, in college, when the college game was bigger, I respect Curly.
Oh, yeah. I'm with you.
It.
I'm with you.
Okay.
Tom Landry, Dallas Cowboys. That's a tough one, right?
I'm keeping him out for now. He didn't win the big games.
Let's see. How many Super Bowls did he win? He had 20 straight winning seasons. I'm not seeing how many Super Bowls he's got.
Go ahead. Keep going down.
Marv Levy.
No, wait. I think he only won 1 or 2. Marv Levy is 7.
7, okay. Vince Lombardi. They named a trophy after him, the championship trophy. Okay, number 3. John Madden.
Get the hell out of here, John Madden. What, he won?
1-time Super Bowl
This
champion.
is the worst damn list I've ever heard. My God, who made this list? It's a bunch of writers and stuff, a bunch of kiss asses. Are you kidding me? And by the way, I'm sorry, Sid Gillman wasn't in the National Football League. He was in the American Football League at first, and I understand. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
I mean, that has nothing to. They weren't even in the league. This is a crap list. Go ahead.
All right.
Next.
Let's see. Next is Chuck Noll.
Number 4.
It's got to be in there, right? Yeah. Steve.
They never even talk about him. Where's Ditka?
He's not in the list.
Ditka didn't get in?
Nope.
Their first coach to win a Super Bowl, to play in a Super Bowl.
Well, that's coaching. It's coaching. It's not about whether you played
How
or
many
not.
Bears Super Bowls have won? 1. Well, Tony Dungy only won 1, but he's first African. But isn't he the first Bulgarian coach, Ditka? Isn't he the first coach with his heart plugged up? with Italian sausage?
That's right.
Okay. All right, go ahead.
Steve Owen. I never even heard of this guy. Steve.
Well, I think one I want you to check on is Chamberlain. I never heard of him.
Wow, he only coached 6 years, but he won championships in all 6 of them.
They suck. Elephant balls. Are you nuts?
1920s.
Yeah. 1920s. My God, are you kidding me? Capone was in his prime.
That's right.
Right.
Capone was probably fixing all those championships.
Yeah.
Bill Parcells.
No.
Fritz Pollard. He was the first African-American coach in the NFL.
You just told me Dungy was.
He was
but
the
no,
first.
that's for Super Bowl.
Correct.
You know what? I got to put Fritz there. He was a great player, too. I'm sorry. Fritz Pollard's sick. I got to get some color scheme going here, too. Because they got screwed. I say in baseball, you should have separate books.
I'm with you on that. Before integration and after
That's
integration.
Right.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Okay,
totally who else?
2 last nominees, and they are Don Shula and Bill Walsh.
I've got Don Shula ahead of Bill Walsh. You know what? I hate Bill Walsh. I'm not a fan anyway, but what a genius he was.
He was.
You know what? The reason is Belichick's number one to me, 6 Super Bowls. Halas, without him, there's no league. Lombardi took a losing organization and with the same players won championship after championship and won the first 2 Super Bowls. Chuck Noll won 4 Super Bowls. Don Shula beat Halas's record all time, most wins. Fritz Pollard was the first African-American coach. Marv Levy won 4 Super Bowls. Bud Grant, you know what? I got to take one of those 2 guys out.
Yep.
I got to take, oh, God.
Tough,
I'm going
right?
to take Grant out. I'm taking Grant out. He had the best players and he could never win. Marv Levy, I'm going to keep him in. I'm going to put in Coach Walsh.
Coach Walsh.
And then, so I got Belichick, Halas, Lombardi, Noll, Shula, Pollard, Levy, Walsh, Weeb, Eubanks, and Paul Brown, who introduced game film. Yep. He had the first halftime band.
That's right.
he did so many innovations, so he's got to be in there. Plus, he coached both the Browns and won championship after championship after he got in the league, and he also coached the Bengals.
So if you're serious about Mike Ditka, where would you put him on your list?
Well, I put him ahead of Richard Chamberlain. I put him ahead of Tony Dungy. You know who got screwed here by me?
Who?
Gibbs won 3, didn't he?
Gibbs won 3, correct.
I got to take him out, Marv Levy out.
I agree with you. I agree.
Because Gibbs won with 3 different quarterbacks. That's unbelievable. Gibbs won with Rippon, Gibbs won with Williams, and Gibbs won with Theismann.
You nailed it right there. Very good.
Well, you know what? I've only had dementia half the show. That was going to be my DJ name if I start getting Alzheimer. I'm still in the air. Johnny Dementia. Belichick, Halas, Lombardi, Noll, Shula. I'm putting Pollard back behind Gibbs and Walsh. I'm putting Pollard in front of Eubanks and Paul Brown. So I got Belichick, Halas, Lombardi, Noll, Shula, Gibbs, Walsh, Pollard, Eubanks, and Paul Brown. And if it's any different than that, they're crazy. I mean, there were other great coaches. I mean, Marty Schottenheimer never won. It's a shame.
Yeah.
He was a great coach. You know what I mean? He won at Kansas City. He got fired after he won 14-2. Mm-hmm. Andy Reid's not in there.
I know.
You know who else ain't in there? Bill Cowher, John Gruden, who won at Tampa, who made one with Oakland. So you know what? There's a lot of guys out. Cowher got screwed, I think. But you know what? No overshadows him, and Halas overshadows Ditka.
All right, so there have been 13,121 people to coach an NFL game. Where would you put Matt Nagy on your list of coaches out of that 13,000 plus?
I had a Trustman. You know what? I mean, they're out of water. What can I tell you? What a show!
What a show. Mike, remind people where they should go for their betting.
What a show. We're here for the dough. Vegas scores and odds.
There you go.
The bar room's here for you. Welcome to the 50s.
Remind people where they should go for their betting needs.
Every Monday, 1 o'clock, with the great Aldo Gandia, the best in the business, with the cuts and everything else, and he's great, partner. Then you got him on Wednesday at 3 o'clock, okay, with this great show, with the picks and everything else. Then you got the odds couple with Carmen DeFalco and Mike North at 6 o'clock to 7 every Friday night on AM 1000 ESPN. And you also got me at 1:45 on Friday afternoon with Carmen and Yurko, also with the bonus pick. Then you got Vegas scores and odds every night.
There you go. He said it.
North, Bears Barroom, Aldo Gantia. Make sure you follow them all, folks.
Yeah, and make sure you go to VegasScoresandOdds.com. We love them. We really appreciate all their support in making this show possible. Mike North, I love you.
I love it. Come to play every day, buddy. That's what we do. Anytime we're on, you know we're going to swing hard. We don't bunch.
That's right. We got some work to do. We got some commercials to cut.
Exactly,
so
my friend.
Let's say goodbye and get to work.
So long, everybody. Podcast will be up shortly.